And short stage, today I was sure it was going to be a breakaway and was not. So yeah, I mean, if it's a GC battle, I can't see who can beat Primoz Roglic. He is plus 250 on Unibet. Don't know if you know anything, if you see anything better otherwise, but he's my heavy favorite to win the stage tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Spencer Martin, along with Johan Bruyneel, and this is Outcomes.
Outcomes is not an online gambling operator or a gambling site of any kind. We are simply here to provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. It is a responsibility of all visitors to this podcast to check current local laws in their area or country before doing any gambling online. It is your responsibility to know and follow your local laws in place. Although we try best to provide accurate information on Outcomes, we cannot be held responsible for any inaccurate or incorrect information which is mentioned on this show. If you place any bets based on the conversations on Outcomes, you confirm or understand that it is possible to lose some or all monies used when betting on sports or doing any gambling. You cannot hold Outcomes responsible for any such losses. Our podcast is here to provide entertainment and should be viewed as that and nothing more. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Outcomes. We are predicting stage 15 of the Vuelta a España. Before I get Johan's take on who's going to win that and how it will play out, I want to pick your brain, Johan, on today's stage 14. We picked Wout van Aert. I thought for sure he didn't get in the break, but we had Jonathan Navarez up there so that we were covered there. And then I thought for sure, oh, they're bringing this back for a sprint. We got it. This is perfect. I can just go put my feet up. I can pre-spin the money. Then I'm going to win on Wout van Aert winning the stage. And then Caden Groves survives not a hard mountain stage, but it was like, almost 10,000 feet of climbing?
Yeah, it was
almost
3,000 meters. Yeah.
So really impressive. And it was maybe the slowest motion sprint I've ever seen in my life. Caden Groves was actually behind, and then he pulled ahead in the last 50 meters and won. Super impressive from him and Alpecin. Got to be a little disappointing for Wout and Visma since they worked all day to set that up. But what was your big takeaway? And almost no GC action, but then Primoz Roglic said, I can't let that happen. Let me get a flat tire at the worst possible time coming into the finish. But man, he got a new bike. Did he get Danny Martinez's bike?
Yeah, he got Danny Martinez's bike, yeah.
And ripped the descent.
Yeah. That was scary. And because especially the race was going on, it was full gas for the stage victory at that point. So they didn't slow down. They didn't wait for him. But yeah, I mean, I think that he got it under control. His team was very organized. So that was really good. But impressive of Caden Groves actually to first make it over that climb, and 5 other teammates of Alpecin. That's really, that's incredible for a team that is not here with any climbers. And I think that finally the fact that Caden Groves had that many teammates in the final was key to his victory. Wout van Aert on incredible form. He sprinted for the KOM on that Cat 1 climb, got the points. So then I read in an interview afterwards that he's kind of now starting to think about making this a goal also. There's it's probably other riders who've done it in very early days, but the last rider to do this was actually, I think it's in 1996. 1998 as Jose Maria Jimenez, who got the mountains jersey and the points jersey. So it's been a while.
Wow.
It's been a while. So it shows how versatile Wout van Aert is. Then on the other hand, you have to say, he really was extremely generous with his efforts in the last few days. And that might have cost him the victory today, but he was beaten fair and square by Caden Groves, who, it's the second time he beats him. So obviously very, very deserved victory of Caden Groves.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, wow, I can't believe he lost that. But then he got 5th on an absurd summit finish yesterday. Caden Groves was taking it easy up that climb, or as easy as you can, and finish inside the time limit. He doesn't get the stage win. Caden Groves, I almost view it as a win-win. Like Caden Groves gets a stage win. That's great for him. Wout, does he need a 4th stage win? Like, it'd be nice. He doesn't need it. But the work he's put in, and even today, the points he gets for the KOM jersey, I almost think that's worth maybe costing him the stage, because if he can win 3 stages, points, KOM, that's pretty impressive.
Of course, it would be impressive, but his team didn't work for nothing. They worked to win the stage today. So obviously, a guy like Van Aert, he's a winner. He wants to win whenever he has the opportunity. He was super disappointed initially, but at the same time, you can see okay, this is the Tour of Spain. Obviously, there's not the stress of the Tour de France, not even the stress of the Tour of Italy. He won 3 stages already, and on the cool down on the rollers, he looked more relaxed. I mean, he was frustrated, but not bitter, not angry. It helps, if you have 2 jerseys and you won 3 stages already, you could take a bit of disappointment. It's not, he can go home already now and say, okay, this Vuelta was amazing for me. But knowing a guy like Van Aert, he wants to win more. Whenever he's in a situation that he has a possibility, he wants to win. So he's going to try again.
Well, especially, it sounds ridiculous because he's won over 50 he has over 50 career pro wins, but he's not won as much as he probably should have for his talent. So he almost needs to make up. Like, this is now him harvesting wins that he should have gotten earlier in his career. On the team, we were talking off mic. I think what hurt them and probably what helped Alpecin is that grade is so shallow on the final climb. It's between 4 and 5% the whole time. So if you're in the wheels, it's easy because you're getting a draft. But also, if you're Alpecin de Koning, you're a big guy. You can put out big watts, and then you have Udebrooks on the front, little guy who's like meant to do really steep climbs, like long steep climbs, and he's just not putting out the wattage to put you under pressure if you're an Alpecin lead out rider. And that, it reminded me almost of the Tour last year with the UAE when they couldn't pull back Kwiatkowski. And it's just like they need more, like they just like if you could just make their butts all a little bit bigger and they could all put out a little bit more power, they could do this, but they just like don't have that raw power on the mild gradients to pull.
Usually, Spencer, bigger butts are not good as soon as it's going uphill. But but yeah, I think also the pace in the peloton. Maybe maybe the wind could have been because there was 60 to 70 riders together. That's quite a big group for a Cat 1 climb. So I think it was quite comfortable on the wheels and. But hey, Caden Groves, he's a pure sprinter, and he made it, and he beat Van Aert in an uphill sprint because it was slightly uphill. So yeah, initially we thought, okay, Caden Groves, he didn't have a great season until now, but he's already winning 2 stages. Just renewed, I heard, with Alpecin de Koning again for another 1 or 2 years, for sure 2 years or more. So all is good at that team, and they also won today in the Renewey Tour with Jasper Philipsen. So today was Alpecin first in both Renewey and in the Tour of Spain, and Visma Leasebike second in both of those races, also with Van Aert in Vuelta and Laporte in the Benelux Tour called Renewey Tour.
Well, hats off to the Roodhoof brothers. The team they put together, and the fact that like Caden Groves, maybe not an obvious, like they got rid of Tim Merlier. People forget about that. The guy you could argue at one point was the best sprinter in the world. They're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. We got Caden Groves, who is well suited to these modern Grand Tours that a stage with 10,000 feet of climbing is a sprint stage, and he can win it. They've really got a vision there. It's impressive to watch it unfold. But should we get into stage 15? Let's
have a look.
Short-ish, 143 kilometers, 4 classified climbs. 2 of them are Cat 1. 1 is HC, which I believe there's only 2 or 3 HC climbs in this whole race. But it's brutal. It's like 19K long, 7% average. But that really doesn't do it justice. It's flat in some parts, mild at the beginning, and then steep in some sections. But then the last 3K are an average. I have to imagine it's 11%, 14.3%, 14%. So that's got to be around a 13% average gradient for the final 3K. Going to be incredibly steep, just like stage 13, but an even longer effort and a harder effort leading into the steep part. I'll read off the favorites from Unibet in Europe, Johan, and then we'll get your take on how this is going to play out. But Primoz Roglic is the favorite at plus 250, Enric Mas plus 1,200, Max Poole plus 1,400, Jay Vine plus 1,400, Mike Woods plus 1,400, Mikel Landa plus 1,600, Eddie Dunbar plus 1,800, Lorenzo Fortunato plus 2,000, Jack Haig plus 2,000, Sepp Kuss plus 2,000, Matthew Riccatello plus 2,000. It goes on and on. We'll call them out when we need to. But how do you think this is going to play out, Johan? Breakaway or GC, and who is going to win?
Could go both ways. I don't think that Red Bull Bora will absolutely go obsessed to bring a breakaway back, because I think they've seen that Primoz is getting better. He's able to drop O'Connor every single time from now on, and also he dropped Enric Mas for the first time yesterday. So and Primoz will probably get more and more confidence, and tomorrow is a really good climb for him. I'm still going to pick him as my first choice to win the stage because it's Primoz Roglic. And short stage, today I was sure it was going to be a breakaway and was not. So yeah, I mean, if it's a GC battle, I can't see who can beat Primoz Roglic. He is plus 250 on Unibet. Don't know if you see anything better otherwise, but he's my heavy favorite to win the stage tomorrow.
He's plus 250 everywhere I see. I mean, it's not great odds, and I only say that I think he probably will win out of the GC group. It's just such a weird stage. There is a lot of climbing, but it's all so stacked at the back.
Yeah,
you could imagine a breakaway getting away, and I feel like I have no feel for these stages. It's a Grand Tour where stages I think are going to be GC days turn out to be breakaways, and then days I think are going to be breakaways like today turn out to be contested from the group. It's an odd course. It's kind of, the Vuelta always has you off balance a little bit. It's just like you're on one foot thinking you're going to fall over. Like, what is going on with the stage? Where are we? But if I was going to pick someone from the GC group that's not Primoz Roglic, which is risky, you're taking a risk doing that. I would not go Enric Mas based on what I saw the other day. I'd go Mikel Landa plus 1,600. That is on Unibet. He is plus 1,800 on FanDuel in the US, which is an even better price. He looked like the second strongest GC rider on that climb, and that's similar to the climb we'll see again tomorrow. I'm in on Landa, and I'm selling my Mas stock. I think, not that he's going to completely fall apart, but it looked like a return of the Enric Mas we know a little bit better on stage 13 versus the Enric Mas we saw in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, we need to check. Maybe it was a bad day. He has looked amazing until yesterday. So we'll see. In general, when you start to see a tendency, it tends to be like writing on the wall, right? Landa, yes, I can see that. I still don't know how he can beat Primoz, though, on that climb. He would have to get away with a tactical move on the easier part, and then is he going to be able to stay away? But from all the guys from the GC, I think he's probably starting to become the second best after Primoz. So if we think about GC, then Landa's a good choice. I think we have to consider a breakaway scenario, though. This climb 12 years ago in the Vuelta was won by the breakaway. Two riders stayed away. The winner was Dario Cataldo, who's still racing 12 years later. He won from a breakaway. I think he was on Quick Step back then. And the second rider was Thomas de Gent, who was one of the remaining guys of the breakaway. And then afterwards, we had the GC guys at 2.5 to 3 minutes. It was Joaquin Rodriguez and Contador and Valverde and all these guys. So I think we should consider a breakaway scenario. If it's breakaway, I'm going to go for Jay Vine. He was looking good yesterday. Unfortunately, he crashed. Doesn't seem like he was hurt severely, or if he was probably hurt a bit, but he didn't really go down like McNulty did. And so this could be a good climb for him if he's in a breakaway. If there's, there's obviously going to be other climbers, but Jay Vine looked really good yesterday. So at plus 1,400 on Unibet, Jay Vine is my second choice to win the stage.
Here's where Vine gets interesting. On FanDuel, he's plus 2,300, so significantly better odds. I thought he was I thought there was 3 riders that could win yesterday: McNulty, Vine, and Mike Woods. And then they obviously crashed and Woods won. Vine looked really good. He's looked good in this race. I like it, especially at plus 2,300. Mm-hmm. I like it a lot. On Roglic, yeah, it seems impossible that anyone could beat him, but I will say he's the only rider I've ever seen that has dropped his chain on an uphill time trial. So on a one by chain ring. So you never know what's going to happen with him. Someone has a voodoo doll somewhere of Primoz Roglic and is torturing him. But my pick for outside the GC group is I'm going back to the well. Mike Woods plus 1400 just because the last 3K. I mean, if Woods can stay with the group, it actually reminds me a lot. This reminds me more of Puy de Dôme than stage 13 because it's a longer climb, more mild gradients at the bottom, and then kicks up. And if you remember Dome, he wasn't even in the front group, and then he just puts it in turbo, and he'll just stand up for what seems like 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, a little side note, Spencer, on the Puy de Dôme, they got help from Victor Kampenaerts that day. I think there was some business being done there in the cars, and Victor got a good check from Israel to do that work. But anyways, Mike Woods, amazing climber. I think if he wins tomorrow, it's from the breakaway, Spencer. It's not going to be from the GC guy, the GC group, Mike Woods.
Oh yeah, definitely not from the GC group. And I mean that introduces uncertainty because he has to make the breakaway. Mm-hmm. He's had mixed success, you could say. But on a stage like tomorrow, you'd think Israel, like they have strong guys. Like I don't know how Riley Sheehan's doing. Maybe he's fatigued and doesn't have anything left. But they have strong riders that, that just like, hey, stick around Mike Woods, get him in the breakaway and your day's done. Like once he's up the road, that's it. Like Dylan Toons, you're on Woods duty. Get him in the move. And, I think if they focus on it, they can do it. It's obviously not a sure thing, but that's also why he's priced where he is. He's plus 1,600 on FanDuel, so a little bit better. One name I'm going to throw out that I just noticed when we were doing this, Maro Schmid, plus 8,000. Is that a little low for a guy that finished second on stage 13 and didn't he finish fourth the day before that on stage 12?
He did. And today was, so to speak, an easy day or recovery day for these guys. So, Mauro Schmidt, definitely. He's in good form. And
the super wild card is coming back. That seems, I only bring it up because I'm surprised it's that low. I don't.
Yeah. Plus 8,000. Yeah. Go for it.
Quite understand that for a guy that's proven he can be at the front on stages like that. I think it's I don't know. I fall into this. I don't really perceive him as a great climber, and I don't know why. It's just like the way he started his career. I thought he was more of a classics rider, but the proof is there that he's pretty good at climbing. If you get 43 seconds behind Mike Woods on a stage like stage 13, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
And if Mike Woods misses the break and Schmid's in it, that's, he could easily win the stage.
Agreed.
So on to head-to-heads. They're not actually, we're doing this a little bit earlier to let people peek behind the curtain. So they're not on FanDuel yet, but they are on DraftKings. So slightly different location for the head-to-heads. They do a lot of them. I'm just going to cherry pick a few. Adam Yates, minus 155. Ben O'Connor, plus 110.
Adam Yates.
I
think Ben O'Connor is going to fade away further tomorrow.
Adam Yates finished.
Adam Yates is also
seconds.
not. Yeah, he finished with Ben O'Connor yesterday.
He finished like 8 seconds in front of him.
In front. Okay, so Ben O'Connor was fading away. So that means Adam Yates is not in great shape either. I mean, depending on the standards we know of Adam Yates. Let's go Ben O'Connor.
Okay. Well, Yates has way less to ride for.
Yeah.
Too. Like, is he going to really dig deep? I mean, he's a professional, so he's always going to dig deep. But like top 10 in the Vuelta, I don't know how much he really cares about that.
Doesn't matter for Yates.
No. Pavel Sivakov, minus 120 versus Christian Rodriguez, minus 120. I mean, kind of terrible because the book has taken a massive cut on this.
So they're both negative?
Yeah.
No, let's stay away from it. It's too risky.
Okay. This is becoming my favorite one. Eddie Dunbar, minus 230. Jack Haig, plus 160.
Is Jack Haig must be the best NGC now for Bahrain.
Let me
probably
check. He didn't have a great day on stage 13. Where was he?
Probably Dunbar also.
They're 18th and 19th in the GC.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
At a certain point, though,
who's positive?
Haig is like
Haig, okay,
wildly
Haig.
positive.
Let's go Haig.
Yeah, Haig at plus 160.
Yeah.
Felix Gall minus 165. Florian Lipowitz plus 120.
I thought they were going to say Felix Gall versus Ben O'Connor.
I know. That's the one I want.
We should pick Felix Gall.
See you, buddy. I got to get seventh.
Let's see. Gall against, who did you say?
Lipowitz. I like Lipowitz a lot too. I'm looking.
He has to stay with O'Connor, man. He has to stay with O'Connor. I can't see it. Yeah.
This is my favorite bet we've done today. If
he doesn't stay with O'Connor, then something's going on there in that team, and it's like, okay, O'Connor, listen, you're leaving next year. You're going to lose the jersey anyway.
What a loser mentality. I mean, I'm sure there is a subtext there that they've already put out there by doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, if Gall doesn't stay with them, then he's probably losing the jersey tomorrow. And that, to me, that looks so bad. It's like, we just left him.
You could, as I said yesterday, Spencer, you could argue that on steep slopes like that, certain riders prefer to ride their own pace rather than having a wheel in front of them that's just a little bit too fast for them, which, now seems to start to be the case with O'Connor and Gall. So that could have been yesterday. The instructions, okay, Felix, go. I'm fine. I'll do my own rhythm. But then still, Gall should take the own initiative and say, okay, no, listen, as long as you're in red, I'm staying with you.
Yeah, I know. I thought that too. I thought, maybe he called him off because I don't know how much I would like that. But the only thing is, when I should have been sleeping last night, I rewatched episode 2 of Tour de France Unchanged season 2. Ben O'Connor does not seem like the type of guy actually who would respond that well to you just leaving him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was really upset about when they pulled Jai Hindley to the yellow jersey and stage win. Crazy. He would be upset about that. But do you know how far Gall is behind Ben O'Connor? He's almost 5 minutes behind him.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. If you want to ride for your own race, buddy, don't get 5 minutes behind me. Try to actually be in front of me. So
and then on top of that, if Gall wants to go for his own GC, I think he's forgotten that he can't time trial.
he's probably going to follow the top 10.
He cannot
because he has like Skelmoza, Yates, David Gaudu, not a great time trialist, but like Sivakov, there are really good time trialists behind him. The whole thing is weird. It's actually extremely weird. I mean, I think you mentioned maybe a bit of a power vacuum there, and it's showing.
Also, I mean, listen, Gall is a great climber. He's on these 3 climbs we still have tomorrow, and then Gamoniteiro and Lagos de Covadonga. Or did we do the Gamoniteiro already? No, we didn't.
No, I think that's on Monday, right?
Yeah. Gall's going to do great on those climbs, but anyway, for the moment, he's way too far behind O'Connor to just ride his own race. But as we know, there are certain things going on in that team. There's a big change in the management. They fired Vincent Lavenu, the founder and soul of this team, basically. They did it a bit in a. I don't think it's a nice way, because Lavenu has put his soul in this. I mean, this is a guy who actually founded the team, built the team from scratch, took a mortgage on his own house to keep the team alive at some point, and now they just fired him. So there must be a lot of things going on in that team right now that's not the usual way of working, I would say.
It's bad when Johan is defending French team owner founders. I mean, obviously, I don't know what they were thinking. What you should do is say hey, you're going to finish out the year, and then we're going to say you're chairman emeritus after this year, and just kind of slowly phase them out. That's crazy. Really unprofessional, actually. But last one, Mateusz Skelmoza, minus 280. David Gaudu, plus 200.
They're both riding well.
Yeah.
They both have some power left. I think
and they finished within 6 seconds of each other.
On tomorrow's climb, I would probably prefer, it's again, French, but Gaudu. Gaudu or Skelmoza on tomorrow's climb with the steep slopes at the end.
At plus 200, I would definitely go do. That's another interesting bet.
Especially now that he has his new. Have you seen his new look? It looks like Don. Do you say that in English? Don Quixote.
No, we don't say that, but I know.
How do you pronounce that?
Don
Quixote, the guy with the Spanish
Quixote. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I just call it the Alaphilippe.
Yeah, he looks like Don Quixote now. A little ponytail and anyways.
I watched it was some TV. It was like a special on French TV. It was about like David Gaudu moving to the south of France. So maybe this is part of a greater change in his life and personality. But I like that bet a lot. Do you have anything else to add, Johan, before we take off?
No, that's it for me, Spencer.
And this is not a backdrop that you've put on. You really are.
This is where I am. I went to a quiet place because we have some people in the house who are watching American college football. So I had to find a different location to record this podcast. So it's not a bad backdrop.
No, we'll let you get in that pool and then get to bed. But thanks so much, and we'll be back on Monday for Stage 16. We will not have a show tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Johan.
Okay.